Come on, go!
My name's Tim. I'm a musician, a car collector, an automotive journalist, and a lover of all things automotive. I've bought and sold collectible cars for 2 decades, and I hope my experiences and my point of view helps you find the car of your dreams. Imagine being lucky enough to find yourself the head of Alfa Romeo's racing program, and then so successful that you created your own racing cars and a line of road cars. And imagine then having a son who shared that passion. You would name a car company after him, called Dino. Design a groundbreaking 65-degree V6, throw it in a brace of race cars, and then refine it. Put it in a road car, call it a 206 Dino. Then stretch the wheelbase just a tad, perfect the body lines, get it just right, and call it the 246 Dino GTS. That's what you see here. Is the most beautiful Ferrari even a Ferrari? My contention is that the Ferrari Dino is one of, if not potentially the most beautiful Ferrari of all time. Alfredo Dino Ferrari sadly died very young, and the V6 that he was working on, along with one of Ferrari's engineers at the time, is the engine that gave life to a lot of the Dino sports cars. If you think about the designers at Pininfarina at the time, I think they really wanted to make Enzo proud, and they went above and beyond with this car. Sure, this was the era of the Lamborghini Miura and other very beautiful mid-engine cars, but up until this point, Ferrari was very much a V12 in the front, rear-wheel drive GT car manufacturer when it came to their road cars. The Dino was a transverse mid-engine car. This brought the racing car to the road. It proved very popular. They made over 1,200 of these 246 Dino GTSs. And look at the car. Every line on this car, I honestly, a lot of people say the E-Type is the most beautiful car ever built. I think it's a toss-up. For me, this car, I'm very drawn to mid-engine cars, and the 246, even over the 206 Dino, I think is just absolute perfection. The way the lights sort of peer up over that drooping nose line, and the echo to the earlier Ferraris with that sort of oval mouth. I don't know, everything about it just does it for me. And again, I think Pininfarina looked at it as a true homage to Enzo Ferrari's late son, Dino. Dino GTS, pinch me, pinch me, pinch me. So, is the best looking Ferrari of all time even a Ferrari? That's the question. I think this has to be one of the most beautiful cars ever penned of all time, and it bears not Enzo's name, but Dino's name. Being the father of 2 sons, that's really special to me, and I really can't even believe how wonderful it is to drive this car. And the lightness, coming from the 4C, I'm a fan, clearly liking Lotuses and the 4C. Clearly I'm a fan of light cars. This takes it to a whole different direction, and what Ferrari did with this car is they sort of built a better 911. One of my previous favorite cars I've ever driven is the 69 to early 70s
Porsche 911. Well, this sort of takes it one better. And listen to this engine note. Bella, Bella. Who listens to the radio ever in this car? While equipped with a Becker Europa 2, who would listen to it? Who would listen to the radio in this car? It is brilliant. And the 2.4 liter engine in this car, shared with several Italian cars, but most notably maybe the Lancia or Lancia Stratos, is sonorous and beautiful in a way that you would expect a Ferrari engine to be beautiful. But the steering is so light. You could have serious muscle issues and still steer this. And the beautiful thing is, it has beautiful road feel. And being a bit over 2,300 pounds, it communicates and telegraphs in a way that we have completely lost in modern cars. After spending some time in this car and sorely wishing that I had $500,000 to plunk down on adding another car to the garage, these cars are shooting up in value. I mean, should it be $1 million car? I mean, absolutely, this will be $1 million car at some point. And I think it's because the experience is just absolutely peak Ferrari. When you look at the way the light cascades over the flying buttress, when I turn around and look over my shoulder, the noises, the activity, the gated shifter, the dogleg gearbox, everything is kind of like peak car guy in this car. And in a way that I don't know what else you would get. And sort of, you know, when people talk about power, I mean, this is not a powerful car. I'm talking about around 190 horsepower in a car that weighs 2,300 pounds. So not spectacular power to weight ratio, but I've said this before, like with the Gallardo, I almost enjoy the Gallardo more because it sings this beautiful V10 engine song, and with the Huracan, you're through the gears so quick that you almost don't have time to enjoy it. In this car, every downshift, every little nuance in the throttle is greeted with a new pop or a new zing and a new opportunity for you to just connect with the car and nature in a beautiful way. Oh. And that's 5,000 RPMs. You just want to keep going. Are you making ultimate progress in this car compared with, say, anything else? I mean, ultimately, probably not. But the communication from the car and the mid-engined-ness of the car is pretty much all you need. I mean, this is like all you need. This kind of car, when you think about what should Ferrari do now that everyone's in this electric age and 1,000 horsepower in 2 seconds, who cares? I mean, do you want to go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds or hear this car sing its song? My contention is that you want to hear this car sing its song, and you want to clickety-clack through the gated shifter over and over and over. I mean, it's the stuff of dreams. And I don't care if you're 16 years old and just got your license, or 116 years old and barely clinging on to life. If you can only drive one car, it needs to be a gated Ferrari from either this era or up to like the 355. And I just think there's something very special and connective about those cars. I think as a general rule, humanity has, in some ways, humanity has sort of fallen out of love with the concept of innocence. we have, and I'm a fan of, I started with nothing. I'm a capitalist. I've ended up with a good life for my family and I. But we have lost our zeal and our passion for innocence. And what a car like this represents, and what no cars that are currently offered represent, is that innocence. This car is beautiful and little, and in so many ways innocent. It's sort of like the first kiss or the first girlfriend, or it's very virginal. It's very innocent. And with new cars that we produce now, we're so focused on massive power and numbers. And this car isn't so much about numbers. This is even a car that they produced a lot of, so it's not the rarest, but it's the most beautiful. And it has one of the best steering feels and one of the best experiences forget Ferrari, of any car, period, ever. And that innocence, and a return to innocence, a return to what made motoring great, getting in a car, starting it up. Even the fact that I have no Bluetooth or a radio that I want to listen to in this car makes me look at the corn in a different way, makes me look at the road campers, makes me feel the suspension in a different way. And that innocence is something that I think, I'm a fan of protecting innocence. This car is a very innocent experience. You're not going to break every law. 0 to 60 means nothing. It's 7 seconds or something. Top speed of under 150 miles an hour. It's innocent. But the way that we go around corners and the way that you feel when you shift the gears, this is peak car experience. Cars like this in an early 911 with a 2.7. This is only a V6. This isn't a V8. This is where the experience is. Oh, yes. Every downshift, every upshift, glory. You do sort of have the classic Italian splay, but I don't know, it feels kind of right. It feels kind of right. But seriously, every downshift, every upshift, this is beautiful. Pops.
To answer the ultimate question, is the 246 Dino GTS a Ferrari? That's like asking, is a Lexus a Toyota? And I would say, yeah, you cannot deny the Toyota roots of a Lexus. And with this car, what made Ferrari great is what made the Dino brand great. Yes, they may have envisioned it as a sort of a junior brand or a sub-marketed brand of the Ferrari experience, but in this case, the perfection of the lines, of that flying buttress, everything about the car, it's just perfection. The noise of the V6, it may have been unintentional, but they did create the best Ferrari, or one of the best Ferraris, in the 246 Dino GTS. And in doing so, Jano and Alfredo paved the way for Ferraris of the future. The 308, 328, 348, 355, 458 draw a line directly back to the Dino 206 and 246. In naming his company after his son Dino, Enzo unknowingly set the path to perfection for future generations of Ferraris. And it all starts right here with the Dino brand.
This is where the experience, let me get that shift a little better. This is where the experience is.